So this is the Juno-6, possibly one of the most seminal synths of modern music history, to be honest. I got this synth maybe even around 15 to 20 years ago, and I bought it from an organist actually who used to play at Blackpool Pier, and he used to use it for his trumpet sounds, which was absolutely awful at, but I just got this great memory of this guy talking to me about how he used to accompany tigers onto the stage because they used to come from underneath the ground, like the dance floor as it were. So this has a lot of memories for me. It was the first analog synth I ever owned, and it had everything laid out in front of me. So I could actually start to understand not only what things meant, but what they actually did physically to the sound, so to speak, and how they actually altered the sound. So it has a very close place to my heart. But yeah, and it kind of kick-started a real interest in sort of synthesis and analog synthesis. So synths have been a big part of my life and a big part of my enjoyment of music. So this came along after the Jupiter 8. The Jupiter 6 came along after that, which was a slightly lower spec version, more affordable. All of them ended up on, big albums. Trevor Horn would have been a big user of these kind of synths, as well as like your Depeche Mode. The Juno-6 would probably have been considered an entry point, a much cheaper entry point. It had 6 polyphony, hence the 6, and it had digitally controlled oscillators. Now, oscillators are the tone generators, so to speak, so they create the notes that we hear. I'm going to make it into a pad sound. Here we go. Turn that off. No LFO, right, okay. Here, I'm going to push the attack and you'll hear it change. Longer the attack. So then what they used to use this for, you imagine a string instrument, like a bowed string instrument. It has an attack that's a bit slower and then it comes in. So a violin, for instance, if they were trying to emulate a violin at the time, it would kind of just fade in as opposed to this attack here. Then the decay and the hold, but with a pad we would push the release as well. It's all quite easy to get this from your soft synths now, but at the time, for me, it was really helpful to be able to see what was happening. We didn't have that because the soft synths weren't around at that point. Anyway. So there we go, we've got like a pad sound. Or if you have it set with a quick attack, pull the decay down and the sustain and a very short release, it will die. The more I pull the sustain down, the quicker it dies. And it gets shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. And it's basically acting like a gate circuit. So it's only letting certain sounds through before it turns the volume down. Now, if you were to apply this to an arpeggiator, an arpeggio, that's very quick. You've got the pulse. Now if I open that out, it almost turns into a note. So then with the attack there, you're not hearing it. So, or put the release all the way up and it just becomes a chord again. So you could. So here we go. Yeah, it's cool. I love it. It's been so long since I've got this out. It's like falling in love again. Okay. With the Juno-6, you were able to make these huge, wide, expansive pads, which I'm about to put back on again. Yeah, there we go. It's done it for me. Amazing. Big, beautiful, big with the chorus on as well. Or what you would call sort of clav-like sounds. So if I just stop that now and take hold off. Yeah. Yeah. Or the arpeggiators. Really quite moody, I love them. The arpeggiator's my favourite, I think. Love it. Wicked. I love it. So that is the Juno-6 in a nutshell.